Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
And I'm Tim.
And I'm Rod.
And today we're actually going to do another review from a guy that sent us a free game, and we love those. And here's a game that's coming out on Kickstarter, so you could actually go on Kickstarter and check out this game, and it's called Good Cop, Bad Cop, and it's put out by Overworld Games. So to get us started, Tim, why don't you tell us about the instructions?
All right, so here we have, the instructions are actually laid out on these cards here. And on the back, he gives you a barcode that you can actually download the rules on a PDF, which is kind of nice if you like to have your iPad or something on the game table beside you. But honestly, the rules are easy enough that once you learn it and you go through like just one single round, you probably won't ever have to look at them again. But I like having them here on these cards like this because he actually has the page numbers here, so you can know what order to go in it. And it is just step by step. Go right through the whole game to learn it. So if you read this step by step right through it, you'll know the game. He does a great job of just laying it out as simple as possible, so that you can get right into the game. Because it took us less than 5 minutes probably to get going on it. It's not a complicated game though. So that being said, the rules shouldn't be complicated. Mm-hmm. And also, another added bonus is the first player token, which almost every game has those. The first player tokens that you pass around the table also has the actions that you can take on a turn on it. So if you ever forget or you're trying to figure out the order or something, this has it on here. So for what it is, it's nice instructions. I approve of them.
Yeah, great. Well, Rod, tell us about the components that come with this.
Well, the components are the cards, because it's a card game. So the things that we're going to be looking at, that I look at, is the artwork, the color, and everything else. And
now these are prototypes, so this is just what he sent to me. So as far as how it's going to finally turn out on Kickstarter, we'll let them tell you on Kickstarter what the final product is going to look like. So
sure. So I mean, I think that it does what it's supposed to do. Giving us an honest cop versus the bad cop and so on. The colors are, it looks a little bland, I guess, when it comes to that. The artwork's generic. So that would be my only thing that I guess I'd have issues with. I mean, I like the fact that the instructions were done on the cards. I like that the way they're put together and so on, but I think all in all, it's just kind of bland looking.
Okay, well, let's talk about how Good Cop, Bad Cop plays. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to be dealt 3 cards, and you're going to get 3 integrity cards. And these integrity cards will have one of 4 things on them. They'll either say that you're crooked, it'll say that you're honest. You have an honest one? Anybody honest? Nobody's honest. It'll say you got crooked, honest, or you could become the agent or the kingpin. And so you get 3 of those cards. So what's neat about this mechanic is you're either going to be crooked or honest based off of how many of those cards that you have. So if you have more crooked cards than you have honest cards, then you are going to be a bad cop. Or the opposite of that is if you have more honest cards than you have crooked cards, then you're an honest guy. So an honest guy could still have a crooked card in his hand, but because he's got more honest cards, then he is an honest guy. Now, the point of the game is to find and kill either the agent or the kingpin. And so if you find the kingpin and you kill him, then all the good guys win. If you find the agent and you kill him, then all the bad guys win. So that's basically how it works in the game. And so on your turn, you can do, based off of this player token, you can do some actions. So on your turn, you can investigate, which means you're actually going to go to a player and say, I'm going to investigate, and you get to look at one of their cards. Now, you do this secretly so that no one else knows. And
Right. Way secretly.
Don't mess that up. And so you look at their card, and then you put it back. Now, what's good about that is I know, like, for instance, Rod has a crooked card, but the bad thing is he could have 2 more honest cards, so I don't know the full picture. And that's kind of a good example of investigating that you don't know at all. So that's one of your actions that you can do. The second action that you can do is that you can pick up a gun. And so when you pick up the gun, you point it at someone and you say, I'm pointing it at you. but you can't fire it right away because you got to wait until the next round. So that's cool because it. What? Oh yeah. And then after you pick up a gun, you have to reveal a card. So that's kind of the penalty because you pick up a gun, but you have to reveal a card. And so now everybody kind of knows part of your story. And then the other thing that you can do is that you can fire the gun. So you can't do that on the same round. So you'd have to pick up a gun and aim it at somebody. And then the next round you could say, now I'm going to fire at Rod or Tim or Jordan. And then the last thing that you could do is you can draw an equipment card. Equipment cards can be used at any time of the game, but you can only have one equipment card at a time. So what happens there is you have an equipment card and you're going to use it. And so you can use that, say there's some cards that interrupt shooting or interrupt all kinds of things. There's some cards that get you where you can investigate more cards, or you can force everybody on the table to reveal a card. So the equipment cards are really powerful because you can do all kinds of cool stuff. And I think this is what adds the flavor to the game because you have no idea what kind of equipment cards somebody has. And so the last thing on your turn is you can change who you're aiming at. And so that's kind of a big deal. Whereas when you pull the gun, you could say, I'm shooting at Rod, but then at the end you could say, no, I'm kidding, I'm shooting at Tim instead. And so that's how the game works. You just take turns going around looking at people's cards, trying to find who the kingpin and the agent are, and it doesn't always turn out to be who you think it's going to be. Let's talk about the game and maybe give our reviews.
Okay. Well, I like the game for a party game. He doesn't mention it in the rules, but it seems to only play a minimum of 5 people, which is fine for a party game. And it looks like it could play well more than 5, probably 8 or 9, I think, with the given integrity cards, which is nice. So if you're just at a party with a lot of people, then you can get everybody involved in the game. And it goes a lot quicker than you think if you think you spend just one turn looking, because the equipment cards kind of throw a wrench in everything, because they'll start flipping your cards over, like
pretty quick.
Some of them flip one of everybody's cards over. So I like how speedy it is, and the fact that you can pull so many people in, and it keeps it on edge with the equipment cards.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a solid game. I mean, it's just got all the mechanics seem to work right. It makes sense. That I'm investigating you. The good cop, bad cop makes sense with the, that I could be crooked or I could be honest. The equipment cards add the variety to the game, and it plays quickly, so you could play this a few times. And when we were playing, I had a lot of moments where we were laughing and joking, and we were making up names for each other. It was just stupid stuff, but we really enjoyed. So to me, I think it's a solid game that would be worth backing and picking up.
I would agree. I mean, the thing is that I like a few things that you mentioned was the fact that you have your cards out in front of you, so there is some type of investigation. So the way the game plays lends to its theme, and then also having like the equipment cards and so on. So I agree with you guys 100%. I think it's a neat little game.
Yeah, it's got a lot of theme packed into just a little box of cards, so that's cool.
All right, should we select your...
So you might have guessed what our dice review is going to be already, but at the end of our reviews, we always give a one die review. Green means go buy this game, and in this instance, go back it on Kickstarter. White means I wouldn't buy it, but maybe I'd play it if somebody had it at the game night. And then red means don't buy it, avoid it. I wouldn't play it no matter what. So,
so I gave it a white because it is a party game, and that's just not my style of game. But if I was with a big group of guys, whatever, I would play it with them, just because it is fast and fun. I wouldn't play it a lot. I would probably play it 1 or 2 games, but I would still play it.
Yeah, I gave it a green because this fits a certain type of game group that I've got. I've got family that likes to get together, and they don't want to go through 1,000 rules, and they don't want to have all this complicated stuff that's happening. But this is simple enough that, like in our instance, 5 minutes we can talk about the rules, play around, and already know how to get it. So we can dive in real good, and I just like the variation that the equipment cards bring. So
I gave it a green for the same reason. I mean, I just like the simplicity, how fast it plays, and I don't like explaining rules to people. So when there's people who don't know how to game very well, this is a very easy one to do. So I agree with you guys 100%. I think it's just a good game, very good game.
Great. So go check this out on Kickstarter. It's called Good Cop, Bad Cop, and Check out our other reviews. We got a lot of reviews about all kinds of games that are more for gamers and more for light stuff. And so check out what we've got. You can visit us on the website, boardgamecloset.com, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter. And as always,
Support your local hobby shop.